my channel. I am so excited because today I am going to be sharing a couple of different activities that I use for my preschoolers, whether I'm doing push-in speech therapy sessions or pull-out speech therapy sessions, that are all Halloween/October/fall themed. I haven't introduced myself this way in a little bit of time, but my name is Marie Muratalla. I am a preschool speech and language pathologist, and I do a variety of pull-out/push-in therapy, a lot of collaboration in a full inclusion preschool program, which is really cool to be a part of, and it gives me a lot of inspiration and ideas. Plus, I have an amazing preschool team that collaborates so well together, so I've gotten a lot of ideas and learned so much from them, and I'm so excited to share with you today some of these Halloween, pumpkin, fall themed ideas that can be adaptable and used in a variety of ways. I want to start off, we're going to start by talking about fall songs. Now, let me just tell you, I've linked most everything that I could find here for you, whether it's a song on YouTube that you can use and adapt, or if it is an activity from Teachers Pay Teachers. Most of these things are things you could prep today, so that way you can use them for Halloween or for the fall season. But one of the main things we talk about in fall time are pumpkins. And so you might know the classic Five Little Pumpkins song. This I love because it's an adapted book made by Jenna Kirk from Speech Room News. It is linked in her book bundle that is on TPT, so I have that linked for you. But essentially it is the classic Five Little Pumpkins song sitting on a gate, but everything is able to be manipulated. There's pictures that you can use to match for every part of the song, which makes it really appropriate for turn taking and teaching kids the repetitive parts of the songs, and just helps them feel like they're participating. So for any students that are limited verbal communicators that maybe aren't singing along, this is a way that they could sing along. So I really love that option. Of course, you can always adapt things by maybe putting in familiar phrases that are in the song on a button or a switch to help with those abilities to participate in the song in a small group. I like to do songs during circle time with the whole group lesson because they are fairly quick most of the time. But if I have the ability to stretch out my circle time lesson, it's fun to give the kids an opportunity to come up to the front of the class, take their turn matching the picture during the song. Just depends on how you do it, but it's all adaptable. Another fun song that I love to use during this season is Five Fall Leaves hanging in a tree. Along came Mr. Wind, shh. And then you are working on colors, you're working on numbers. This song here, we have created just a very simple board maker board. You can screenshot here if you'd like to recreate this, but I will link the song for you so you know the words. But here it is as well, so you can find that. You can just Google Five Fall Leaves, and this should come up for you. But again, screenshot that. Go back and screenshot that if you need the inspo. But that's another really good one, and this can be carried out through December, really, because that's when we see the fall leaves falling off the trees. Those are the two main fall themed songs that I have and that I'm using this month. But I also do use a variety of stories that are fun and Halloween themed. My first one being this fun Halloween Boo story. This is a noisy story. I have talked about these before a lot. I have these linked for you. Halloween Boo is so fun. It's probably my kids' favorite one. I think just the theme of Halloween is so fun, and you get to work on imitation because there's the imitation of the sounds. You get to work on boo. Sometimes I'll hold, every time we're getting ready to say boo, I hold my hands up to my face and go boo. The kids just love that. And so it's very fun, and all the familiar faces of Halloween are in the book. So very fun. Again, this one's linked, and it has those opportunities for repetition, those speech sound practice, the imitations all in there, labeling. So it's a very good one. As far as more stories go, this one is a really fun one. It's also in Jenna Kirk's bundle on TPT that is linked. This is the pumpkin life cycle. I love this story for doing sequencing. So what you can do is you can go through the story first, match up all the pictures, and then you can actually pull these pictures and just put them out on your therapy table and have the kids put just these pictures in order. Put away the book and talk about the sequence of a pumpkin. First the seed. So we're gonna put the seed first. You might do that in a field of 3, 4, 5, however, wherever your kids are at. You can kind of limit the amount of pictures you have out on the table, or add more if you need to. So that's a really fun one to just talk about it. This is especially fun especially in the beginning of October. I know we're kind of past that, but for next year, when kids are getting ready to go to the pumpkin patch, or even if it's after October, kids have gone to the pumpkin patch, it might even be even more relatable for them to then learn, oh, that's where my pumpkin came from that I went home and carved. So that's really kind of a fun piece that you can add there. I always say it's never too late, because you can bring in past experiences and then you get to work on, story retell and things like that. So very, very fun. And again, this one is a part of her bundle. So I have that 5 little pumpkins. There's also this Halloween book that I'll be using next week, because this talks about all the things you might see or do during Halloween. Again, just another one of these adapted books where you can take the images and match. Kids can take turns. They can talk about where they see these things and why and everything like that. Another book that is a part of this bundle as well, so there's 4, is Where is the Pumpkin? This one's great for spatial concepts. It's a very simple activity. I like doing this during one of my center times. It may not take the whole center time rotation, so I might do this book and then some kind of a play-based activity, but it's just fun to hit those spatial concepts in a very quick but repetitive way, and the kids have that direct ability to match. So another very fun one. An activity that I am very excited to do next week is the spooky tree. This is, I believe I found it, I don't know if it's still a freebie, but last year we found this as a freebie. It's by Sparkle SLP. I will link it for you. I think we found it on Teachers Pay Teachers. But this one is so cute and fun. So you can do this in a variety of ways. And I'm gonna show you how I've chosen to adapt it for my centers next week. I'm really excited. I hope it goes well. But the idea is you have, it's kind of like a bingo game. You have a variety of trees. You can make as many as you need. We laminated ours and put Velcro all around the tree to match some of the spots that you can see all the items are on this kind of master copy tree. And then the idea is you have a dice. So if you have a large dice, I have like the big dice, they're like this size, obviously not this one, that's not a dice. But if you have the large dice, you can do that. If you have a spinner of some sort, you can do that and maybe just cut these images out and put them on the spinner. And then the idea is once the kids take their turn, if you're using a dice, you count up, so you get to work on some counting. You count up the numbers and then that's the image that you get and you put it on your tree. Now, I let my kids decide where they want to put it, but if you're working on maybe some kind of one-to-one correspondence or anything like that, you can have them match the way this tree looks. Totally up to you how you do that, but that's one way you can do this activity. Let me show you how I've chosen to modify it this year. I'm so excited, and maybe I'll find the inspiration to decorate this, but I'm gonna use it with the Critter Clinic. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a choice board for colors like this, and I'm gonna give the kids a choice of what door they want to open. So let's say they choose to open the red door. Well, in the red door, they're going to find an item, and that's what they're gonna stick on their tree. I'm gonna have just my regular core board out where they can work on saying, I see, I open, I look, I found, whatever. But we are working on the word open next week. So the idea behind using this was that we can say, oh, let's open the door, or we're gonna go knock, knock, open. However, we need to modify it in that moment, but then they'll find their item there. And then we'll work on putting it on the tree. And so that's how I've chosen to modify that one. I have one more activity for you, but I am getting ready to go use that activity down in the classroom right now for centers, so I accidentally left it down there. So I'm gonna go over in center time, and then I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna share with you that final activity to give you an idea of something else you can do for a Halloween-themed therapy session next week. Again, remember, all of these are adaptable. So if you're starting off with a song, but you're working on Artic and Phono, great. Start off with the song, get the kids, warmed up and ready to go. And then you can work on articulation session. You can always modify this. Maybe if you're doing the tree and that's a fun reinforcer, then in here you have their Artic cards or whatever. Like, it just, get creative, don't be afraid to kind of think outside the box on that one. My hair is up because centers were wild. They were great, but my hair is not lasting throughout the day right now. But let's talk about my last activity that I just finished doing this week for Push-In Therapy. It is the Halloween grab bag. We could call it what's in the bag, whatever. I've been doing this since I started preschool. Got the idea from a very good friend, Allison, who is another speech pathologist that I work with. We have this language board that goes with it. So basically, the way this works, it's just kind of fun for Halloween. One, because I have the themed bag, but also because we can talk about opposites and different qualities or adjectives that things might have. And one of those things is they might be scary, they might be nice. And this one has actually been one of my favorites to do because it takes up a full 10-minute center as long as you have enough stuff in your bag, because you're really pushing those language things. You're asking questions, you're giving choices, you have the visuals all there, so that's really good. I always have this core board out, and I get asked so much where I got my core board. This is probably one of my most asked questions so far this school year on Instagram and on here. This core board is something that we made as SLPs in our district that fits the needs of our students. It is very, very much based on the ones that you can find at Open Access AAC. They have a lot of free downloadables. Their 40-word core board is one of those free things, but we just have a few different things on here. Like, we have Open, that's the only one I can think of right now that we have on here that we knew we needed. That's why we made our own, but theirs is great. I use that one sometimes too if I can't find this one. And I love that it's free and you can just easily print it out. So I'll have both of these things out for visuals, and then the students just take turns grabbing things out of the bag, and we can talk about what they are. You can do object functions. So like right now with a little guy, he's working on identifying. So I would just have these out and I would say, which one's sun, which one's beetle? And then we could still, once he picks whichever one I asked for, then we could talk about it's big, and you can model with this too. You don't need to just ask them questions, just depending on where the kids are. So again, lots of fun things in here and a lot of variety, right? Lots of Halloween themed things. There's a bat, pumpkin, but then, just also some random manipulatives that are just fun to describe, and we can get a lot of language concepts covered. So that is the final activity. I don't know how much I just threw at you, but there's just some ideas for you for the next week of therapy. Again, just some no prep. If you want to do something like this, but you don't have a Halloween themed bag, it's really not that big a deal. You can still theme it as, oh, we're going to do a fun Halloween activity, and then maybe some of your items are Halloween themed, but they don't all have to be. Remember to take this video as inspo. What you feel might work for you may not work for another SLP, and that's okay. None of these things may work for you, and that's okay. I just wanted to give you some ideas and share with you a little bit of lower prep ideas that might help you manage your time and your to-do list this week. All right, I am actually gonna get ready to get out of here for the day, but I hope you found this helpful. Let me know your favorites in the comments. If you have any other ideas, pop them in the comments. I love when videos are like a resource for other SLPs. So if we can just flood comments with ideas, links, resources, let's do it. Why not? It doesn't have to be my stuff. It could be others that if you have your own TPT, like I would love to know that. I would love to support you, but I'd also love for you to just have a place where people can click your link. So, yeah. All right. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video.